I'm just saying, Becca, you could honestly do so much better than him.
I never thought 3 years of my life could shatter in a single night, but that's exactly what happened. My name is Michael Reynolds. I'm a 32-year-old attorney in Dallas, and I fight for people who have been wronged by big corporations. Seeing victims get justice makes the long hours worth it, but I never saw the danger hiding in my own home. I met Emily Carter at a charity event. She was a volunteer, and her warmth and genuine spirit were magnetic. We started dating, and within 6 months, she moved into my condo. She was in law school, dreaming of becoming a public defender, and I was her biggest supporter. I paid her tuition when her loans were delayed, bought her a car, and covered our expenses so she could focus on her studies. I saw it as an investment in our future, a future we were building together. But then there was Dylan. He was Emily's best friend from college. From the start, something felt off. He was one of those guys who called himself an artist, but never created anything, always borrowing money and living on other people's couches. His presence in our home became constant. He'd criticize my job, belittle my achievements, and insert himself into every corner of Emily's life. Emily would always say, "We're just friends. He was there for me during a tough time." But his influence was toxic. He'd call at 2 in the morning, needing emotional support, always at Emily's expense. When I questioned these late-night calls or the money she kept giving him, she'd get defensive. Dylan's needs always came before our relationship's boundaries. He even took $2,000 from our joint account to fix his car and never paid it back. When I confronted her, she accused me of being unfair to her sensitive friend. I tried to let it go, hoping he'd eventually fade away. But he didn't. The breaking point came after I won the biggest case of my career. It was a 2-year battle against a pharmaceutical company, and it got national attention. I was on top of the world. We threw a celebration dinner at our place with friends and colleagues. I wanted it to be a perfect night. But Dylan ruined it. He got drunk and started mocking my profession in front of everyone, saying what I did was meaningless. Emily just gave him a few weak warnings. Then, looking right at me, he announced that Emily could do way better than me. The room went silent. I looked at Emily, waiting for her to defend me, to defend us. But she said nothing. She just stared at her plate. Her silence was louder and more painful than any insult Dylan could ever throw at me. I calmly confronted him, laying out the truth he always avoided, how he used Emily, how he contributed nothing to her life, and how I was the one supporting her dreams. But Emily didn't side with me. She accused me of humiliating Dylan, saying I was jealous and that he understood her better than I ever could. In that one moment, everything between us broke. I told her I was done. She left in a rage to stay with Dylan, and I didn't try to stop her. The truth was finally clear. That night, I changed the locks, removed her from my accounts, and boxed up everything she owned. The next day, I delivered it all to Dylan's apartment and informed her law school that I would no longer be paying her tuition. For weeks, her calls went from angry to desperate. I ignored them all. I needed to reclaim my life. Then, one evening, she showed up at my door. She looked exhausted and broken. She told me Dylan had become controlling and had been cheating on her. Without my support, she'd lost her internship and her spot in law school. Her parents wouldn't help. She had nowhere else to go. She begged me to take her back. For a split second, I saw the woman I fell in love with. But then I remembered her silence. I remembered how easily she defended him and walked away from me. She wasn't back because she loved me. She was back because her other option had failed. I told her no. I gave her some cash for a hotel and sent her on her way. The next few months were about rebuilding. I renovated my condo, dove into my work, and rediscovered who I was without her. That's when I met Sarah. She was a corporate psychologist consulting on a case sharp, independent, and compassionate. She didn't need saving. She stood beside me as an equal. We fell in love slowly, building something real and strong. A year later, we were engaged. At our wedding reception, I was surprised to see Emily standing quietly in the corner. A mutual friend, unaware of our past, had invited her. She approached me and handed me a gift, a silver pocket watch that had belonged to her grandfather. She told me it symbolized time and value, two things she said she finally understood. She gave me a sincere apology, explaining that losing me had forced her to grow up and take responsibility for her own life. It felt honest. For the first time, I saw real change in her. I wished her well and truly meant it. As I walked back to my wife, Sarah, with the pocket watch in my hand, I realized something profound. Emily had chosen chaos, and I had chosen stability. Life had given us both exactly what we needed to grow. Standing there, next to the woman I loved, a deep sense of peace washed over me. The pain of the past wasn't a wound anymore. It was the path that led me to the life I deserved. And for the first time in a very long time, I felt completely whole. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever had to make a tough choice to protect your own peace, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about navigating life's challenges.